Yo, welcome to Motion Impact. I'm Ryan Fila, your personal motivator, and today we're going to be talking about sometimes you got to get cut. And don't forget to go down below in the description. There's a link where I've created forms for you to fill out to each of these videos so you can really change your life and accomplish these goals. Not just talk about it, not just watch some video, but really accomplish the goals. Go click that before you start the video. If you haven't seen the first video yet, go do that. I'll put it up somewhere here. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go identify your repeat offenders, because we're gonna build on that and talk about cutting things, figuring out what is really your goals and what are just kind of thoughts. It's time to figure out what you're gonna keep and what you're gonna cut. We've already identified what goals of ours are repeat offenders. Those goals that have been there in 2016, 2017, 18, 19, and they're on your list again. Now we're gonna talk about why. Why are they repeat offenders? Why are they back on your list in 2020? And then we're gonna figure out if they're really goals or really not goals. The biggest excuses that you have for not accomplishing your goals are usually time, effort, belief, and fear. And the first one, time. Ooh, I'm almost obsessed with time. If you know anything about Motion Impact or you've been watching the movement, following the movement for a little while, you know that I always say time is limited, non-refundable, and never, ever, ever stop. Say it with me. Time is limited, non-refundable, and never stops. You might be saying it in the bathroom. You might be saying it watching this video in your bed with your significant other right next to you. I don't care. Time is limited, non-refundable, and never, ever, ever stop. Stop using it as an excuse for why you're not getting things done. It's one of the harshest, yet realest, yet most compassionate things in our lives. It's one thing that we all share. And it doesn't discriminate at all. We get the same 24 hours. We get the same 7 days a week. I don't care what your calendar looks like. If you're talking about weeks in the Mayan calendar, you are getting the same 7 days. Everybody. It doesn't discriminate. It does not care who you are. It doesn't care how much money you have, you don't have. It doesn't care how you were born. It doesn't care where you were born. It doesn't care what privileges or adversities that you face in your life, natural or unnatural. It doesn't care about you. It doesn't treat you any differently than anybody else. But I know this for sure. When your time is spent and you're laying in the casket or your ashes are being spread, the story that will be told is how you spent your time while you were alive. Whether it's 10, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 years, the stories that will be told are about how you spent your time. Stop using time as an excuse. We all waste time. Almost every single person is wasting time in their life. And what I believe wasting time is unconsciously spending it. It's a tough phrase, wasting time. Like, Ryan, you don't know about my life. You don't know what I enjoy. You don't know how I refill. You don't know what I love to pour into. You don't know what I struggle with. You right. But if you're unconsciously spending time, you're wasting time. Just vegging. I'm chilling, bruh. You're probably wasting your time. So what I need you to do for you, not even for me, is figure out where you're wasting time. Where are you unconsciously spending time in your day? Is it when you first get up and you're laying in bed scrolling just because it's comfortable? Or is it when you are in that late part of the morning right before lunch and all you're thinking about is lunch and you're not really doing anything? Is it when you are getting home from work and you're wasting time instead of spending time with your family or refilling or doing things around the house? Is it late into the evening? Is it your weekends? Where is it that you're wasting or unconsciously spending your time? Identify it. Now, when you think about it, what I want you to do is in that sheet, I was telling you in that form that I created for you, there's a spot where you can put your goals, those same repeat offender goals, why it's your goal. Like, what is the purpose of it? Why is it a goal at all? And then right next to that, you put your distraction. So put what you're doing instead of achieving that goal. Now this is directly related to each goal. So goal 1, say, is to lose 10 pounds. And your why is to feel healthier, to be able to do more activities with your family. But your distraction for that specific goal is, I'm sleeping in too late. I create excuses in the morning for not getting up to go work out. Instead, I'm scrolling laying in bed, or whatever it is. Label those distractions right next to it. Now, if you recognize that what you're doing, that distraction, that other activity that you're filling into, that you're spending time doing, isn't as important as the goal that you're setting, then you need to quit doing this and do this. Stop spending the time on that distraction. It really comes down to that. You have to shift your focus, what you care about in the moment, to doing activities that align with achieving your goal. Now, if you really believe that your distraction, what you're doing instead, the word distraction doesn't mean they're all bad. If you believe that your distraction is more important than your goals, and you don't have any unconsciously spent time in your day, like you are a very aware person, aware of where you're spending your time every single day, then you have to cut the goal. That's what it comes down to. We're figuring out if our goals are worth keeping or if they need to be cut. And if you don't have time and you believe that your distraction is more important than that goal that you've set up, that goal is not a priority. That's what we're figuring out. We're figuring out what your priorities are. That goal is not a priority and you need to cut it. Because what that will do for you is, in the end, when you're reviewing this and looking back on your goals for 2020, you're not setting yourself up for failure. Because if it's not a priority, you're not going to get it done, which means at the end of the year, you're going to look back and have these goals that you haven't accomplished, and there's going to be guilt and there's going to be failure on you. But it wasn't ever a priority. Therefore, it's not really a goal. You just need to recognize that. It's time to cut it. Get rid of it. Be real with yourself. It doesn't mean that you can never put that goal back on your list, but be real with yourself and say, this is not a priority in 2020. Now that's time. But there are 3 other main pieces of why your goals aren't priorities, why you're not making them a priority. Number 1, time. Number 2 is effort, is laziness. You're being lazy about it. You have the time, right? But you're doing something else and probably unconsciously spending that time, and you're just being lazy about it. You're not attacking it. It doesn't matter that much. Really, what this comes down to is care factor. How much do you care about that goal? Right now, obviously, you don't care about that goal as much as you care about that distraction. Your care factor of that goal is low. So what you need to do is sit down with that same list I was talking about, with your whys and your distractions, and think about, okay, my why, let's use losing 10 pounds again. My why for wanting to lose 10 pounds this year is to look good in a swimsuit. Not a real strong why. Like, that's kind of surface level. But my distractions, I feel like, are more important than that why at this moment. But to give your goal a second chance, to give it a second chance, take a moment to think about if you can reason yourself, not me, not anybody else, but you can reason yourself to finding a deeper why. Maybe I want to lose 10 pounds because I want to see my grandkids. I want to live long enough to see my grandkids and be healthy enough to play with them. Or I want to lose 10 pounds so I can make another weight class in wrestling and I can win more duels. I can win more matches. Find something that digs deeper into your soul for why you want to achieve that goal. Now, if it comes down to it, again, just like time, you got to be real with yourself. If you can't find a why that is true to you, not to what somebody else wants to hear, not to what sounds good, but true to you, if you can't find a deeper why, you need to cut that goal. It's not a real goal because it's not a priority. Get rid of it. Cut it. If you want to lose 10 pounds, but your distraction is instead working 60-hour work weeks because your kids need their sports paid for, and in the morning you prefer to spend a little bit of time with them at breakfast, and then when you get home you have to do stuff around the house to keep the family running smoothly, that's your distraction. Well, that distraction might be more important than why you want to lose 10 pounds. Therefore, that goal needs to be cut. Get rid of it. The third reason your goals aren't priorities kind of ties into that effort, but it's a belief. It's a little bit separate. It's what you are thinking about it. We've got time, we've got effort, and we've got belief. What are you thinking about that goal beforehand? Do you think it really matters? Because if you already don't think that goal matters that much, but you think that people from the outside, people from your social media feed, from family, if you're just playing into their pressures and putting it on your list, then it's not going to happen because you don't believe it really matters. You're just trying to fit the status quo of those around you. Maybe you're watching this and your parents want you to live a certain way, to go be a lawyer, to go be a doctor, to go work corporate, to go work in a business. But that's not what you believe is important, but you're putting those things on your list, like have an A+ in my finance class, or get into this business school. Those are on your goals list because of those around you, not because you believe it's important. In fact, you don't believe it's that important to your life. So take it off the goals list. Cut it. Figure out if you believe it's important. Now the fourth one, fear. Fear is why your goals are not priorities. We've got time, effort, belief, and fear. You are fearing whatever it is that you have to do to accomplish those goals. It's not that you don't have the time for it. It's not that you don't want to pour in the effort for it. It's not that you don't believe it's important to you. It's that you're fearing. You are crippled by fear of what you have to do to accomplish those goals. Therefore, your fear is the priority. Your fear is above whatever that goal is that's keeping you from accomplishing what you want to do. Let's say you really want to go over to Brazil for 6 months and live there, but you're afraid of taking the Portuguese that you're learning and speaking it to people down there. You're afraid of what they're going to think of you. You're afraid of your ability to speak to them when you get down there. It's not the flying, it's not the getting there, it's not the living there. It's the fear of their judgment on you that you are crippled by. So you keep putting off learning Portuguese. You keep putting off that trip. You keep putting off saving for it just because you're afraid of what they will think of you when you get down there. You're crippled by your fear. You have to learn how to attack that fear, whatever that is, because that's what you are prioritizing. You're prioritizing your fear over that goal, but you need to figure out why. Why do you have that fear? And how do I get rid of that fear? Walk through it. Figure out the core of it. Where in your childhood did that begin? Or where have I picked that up? Or what social norm is that surrounded with? Why is that your fear? Then you have the possibility and the potential to put your goal above that fear. You might still be a little worried, but that goal is becoming more important to you than that fear is. Now, those are the 4 reasons why your goals are not priorities. Now you need to go to that sheet, fill it out, figure out why are those your goals. Each individually, why do I want to accomplish this? Because that's what you need to drill down. And then figure out, what is the distraction? What am I doing instead of achieving that specific goal? Then do the rest of the sheet, fill it out, and you will have a new list of your repeat offenders. You'll have some that you keep and some that you cut. If you are very real with yourself, you will probably cut at least one. I'm not even telling you what your goals need to be. You need to tell you that. You are grown. Figure out what your goals need to be. What I'm interested in is you accomplishing those goals. You accomplishing every goal, true goal that you put on your list for 2020. We're a few weeks into January, and guess what? Most people have already given up on their goals. But but not you. Now avoid the guilt and the failure feelings when 2021 rolls around by cutting goals that are not priorities and keeping ones that are, and digging deeper into the whys for why they are your goal. Be real with yourself. This is a tough step, but it's crucial. Next time we're going to talk about the people in your environment and how they make a difference in crafting your environment. It's all about 2020 vision. Again, I'm Ryan Fila, your personal motivator. This is Motion Impact, and we'll see you next time. Wait, and just at the end of this, I'm gonna put it right here while I stand here in freeze frame and point at it. Don't forget about the Amazon Smile. That really helps support the channel, and it costs you literally $0. Check it out. It's also in the description.